Hi there, I'm Diogo Costa from Forbes Portugal, and today we're here at Web Summit 2022 with Kellen O'Connor from AWS. So Kellen, can you tell us a bit more about yourself, what you do? Go ahead and do an intro.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me here. Delighted to be speaking. So, my name is Kellen. I have the privilege of leading the startup team here at AWS across Europe, Middle East, and Africa. The AWS startup team, we exist to democratize the technology that we offer in the cloud and make it available to every entrepreneur, whether you're just starting out building a company or all the way up to IPO going global. And we're a team of ex-founders, ex-startup operators and VCs and really industry experts. So we've walked in the shoes of the customer and we're here to help them be those next unicorns, which we have a long history at AWS of doing. I think majority of the world's most well-known unicorns, including many from Europe like Deliveroo and Zalando or OutSystems and TalkDesk from here in Portugal, have all trusted AWS to be their cloud partner.
Super. I think we can begin with the first question for you, Kellen. So what's the role of the AWS cloud in the success and future of Q-commerce or e-commerce?
Yeah, so really interesting things going on in Q-commerce these days, and I think, look, it just wouldn't be possible to build these companies without the cloud. And there's a few reasons for that. One is Q-commerce, you see, they're in a period of rapid expansion. So Q-commerce, instant delivery, groceries in 15 minutes, food delivery. Part of their strategy is rapid expansion of cities, and you've seen that with companies like Glovo, or we've worked a lot with Getir, who started in Turkey and have now expanded across Europe and into the US. And the global footprint of AWS data centers and our services is really helping them, as well as their logistics are really complicated. So to get the right, sort center where the groceries are close to their customers and have that be optimized, they use a lot of the analytics and machine learning services that AWS provides to have those operations even be possible. So yeah, we're working very closely with them. And we've seen some great successes come out of that space. Deliveroo is one we've worked really closely in UK. I mentioned Glovo, and there will be others.
Super. So, and what does AWS Cloud offer to its clients, and what makes it so relevant for them?
Yeah. So I think there's two categories of things here. One is, what are the core value prop of the cloud that customers ask for and we built for them? And that's, the cloud offers you technology that was built for the largest organizations in the world that you can access as an entrepreneur on day one of building your company. No longer is this behind some golden wall that only the big companies who can afford it can access. So that drives a lot of innovation when you're just starting out building a company. It really levels the playing field for early stage companies and entrepreneurs trying to build something new. The cloud also offers a lot of scalability and flexibility. You pay for exactly what you need, when you need it. If you need more because your business takes off, it's right there for you. And if you decide to pivot and change your business model and scale down, you're not stuck paying for stuff you don't use. So that's been a game changer for startups. And I think there's been research showing that the cost of forming a startup is over 10 times cheaper since the cloud was invented. And then I think the last thing I'd say is, what is AWS doing that's really unique? Well, there's a few things. One is we help companies at the earliest stages. So we have a credit program called AWS Activate, where we've given out over $2 billion in credits in just the last 2 years alone, which is a huge amount. And that's enabling companies to get started and build and use compute and storage and machine learning at zero cost while they're focused on building their company. We're also helping with the actual building of the company itself. So at Web Summit 1 year ago, we launched a new accelerator available to companies across Europe called the Startup Loft Accelerator. And what that's doing is helping companies in their first year or two to decide on their business model, to get tech support hands-on, mentorship, as well, critically, as connection to investors for raising capital. And we've had over 270 companies in just the last year since we launched at Web Summit participate in that, and over 100 venture capital partners as well. Critically making those connections so that, that's what you want to do. You want to eventually get funded so you can grow your company. So we're really happy with the success there.
Well, insane progress, indeed.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next question. What are the current biggest barriers for AWS Cloud and moving forward? Are there any barriers?
So I think we're in a really unique period of huge opportunity when it comes to the cloud. I think if you look at the total IT market, only about 1 to 3% of those workloads are in the cloud today. Depends on which source you use, Gartner or different ones. So there is an enormous opportunity ahead of us, and companies are moving at a rapid pace to the cloud because of those benefits it offers. It's the pace of innovation, it's the scalability, it's the security, it's the global footprint. And so we're seeing a lot of success there. And I think what's happened recently with COVID and the pandemic, which was really unfortunate, it has made many companies rethink their digitization strategy and move to the cloud even more rapidly. And we're seeing that with startups as well. We work with a startup, for example, out of Israel called Wiz.io. They were valued at $6 billion last year. They've been growing incredible, and they offer cloud security, which has been, a really important product as companies go on this digitization journey. And we've been working really closely with Wiz ever since they were formed, including, co-selling them into the AWS customer base. And Wiz now has 30% of the Fortune 100 as their customers, which I think shows the level of adoption of cloud software in those, Fortune 100, the largest companies in the world.
Moving on to the last question, what are you envisioning for the future, and how will AWS clouds and startups evolve in the future? What's next?
Yeah, so many things. I think that's what's exciting about the time that we're in. So, I think about my personal passions a lot in this space, because I think a lot of society, and particularly in Europe, shares them. So two things that get me really excited are the future of healthcare and the future of sustainability. And so, we are seeing a huge wave of companies being formed in the sustainability space across a number of different dimensions. One here in Portugal is called Smartex. And so what they do is they work with the textile industry, which is, believe it or not, it's a $3 trillion industry. 10% of it goes to waste. So $300 billion a year. And Smartex is using AI to help textile manufacturers reduce that waste. And they're based out of here in Portugal. So that kind of stuff gets me really excited. The other is, as I mentioned, healthcare. And I think we saw with the pandemic, the move to digital healthcare and remote access to doctors was really big. We're also seeing companies that help in some really interesting ways, like radiology. So last story I'll tell is I mentioned our accelerator. One of the companies in there is called Novu.ai, and what they do is provide AI analysis of breast cancer radiology scans to reduce the false positive rate and give patients more confidence and help diagnosis happen faster, which is literally saving lives. And so that kind of stuff gets me really excited about the future we're building, and it wouldn't be possible without the services, in this case, machine learning of radiology images, that we're able to provide these incredible entrepreneurs building incredible companies.
Super. Well, we want to thank you for the amazing time and the amazing answers you gave us today here. And we'll be having more interviews throughout the days on Web Summit 2022, so stick around and follow us on our channels.